You will hear part of an interview in which two academics, Julia Ford and Stuart Cameron, discuss human memory. You now have 1 minute in which to look at part 3.
Hello and welcome to Mind to Mind. Today my guests are Professors Julia Ford and Stuart Cameron, who are researching human memory. Julia, tell us about your work.
Well, basically we're investigating the relationship between individual memory and shared memory or social memory. And particularly we're looking at how reliable our memory is when it's shared. So memory researchers have mostly focused on individuals remembering alone. But in everyday life, we probably as often remember with other people, with our family, our friends, and the people we work with. In cognitive psychology, memory researchers have been very worried about the influence of other people on our memories and assessing that.
They worry that we're going to influence or infect one another's memories, particularly in the forensic setting, like if someone's a witness to a crime. And that's understandable because we don't want people who are giving testimony, for instance, to report things that they didn't experience, that they just picked up from other people.
But even so, we don't think that worry necessarily has to extend to all the kinds of memory that we use. And when we look at our everyday interactions, it's actually helpful when we look to other people to help us remember.
Stuart, you've observed many older couples telling their stories and performing various memory tasks. What did you find?
It was quite interesting because I was quite ideological in a way about the research, and I thought we would definitely see that everybody collaborated really well and showed strong benefits of socially shared remembering. And in fact, we didn't see that. What was really interesting was that some couples collaborated really effectively and performed much better when they were together than when they were apart. And other couples disrupted each other and didn't remember together effectively, at least on certain tasks. So these anomalies became the thing to explain. And what I did was look at the processes that occurred while they discussed and while they shared remembering. So we recorded the conversations and we coded each phrase that was said for what it contained. And we looked for what kinds of ways of interacting with each other predicted memory performance.
And we found when they were sharing memories that some couples could cue each other really effectively in quite novel and idiosyncratic ways. So sometimes they would say, I know about tools, you know about clothes.
Or you remember the first half and I'll remember the second half.
Right. So they'd split it up according to their understanding of each other's expertise. Although with tasks where one person was definitely the expert on the whole thing and the other wasn't, that really hampered successful collaboration because the job tended to be all offloaded onto one person. And so having a lot of shared experiences and a lot of shared history seemed to be helpful.
Yeah. We saw more successful collaboration in tasks where their expertise was perceived as more shared and more distributed.
We're kind of unlike other animals in the extent to which it's part of our nature to rely on objects, technologies in the social world as well. Of course, we're always in danger of losing things, of our technologies being destroyed or, losing touch with other people. We're kind of hostage to fortune compared to other animals, but that's just how we work.
And finally, a question for both of you. There's also the possibility that our brains are changing the way they operate, the way the memory works. Could that be a problem?
It can be a problem, absolutely. I mean, from a scientific and philosophical point of view, I suppose it's more immediately just fascinating to try and observe cultural changes in the kinds of technologies and objects that people have access to and ignore the need for hard facts.
I'm certainly interested in the social nature of memory from the time that we started to draw paintings on the walls of caves. And I know Stuart is investigating our contemporary reliance on artefacts, technologies and so on.
Yes, although it's a controversial theory, the role of civilization is embedded in our view. It means over time and in different places and contexts, human memory actually changes, not just its support, but in its nature as well.